My name is Lonnie Ray Atkinson, and this is another installment of Unsafe Words. No matter whether the policy is economic or social, domestic or foreign, public or private, we all understand the concept of having to clean up a mess not of our own making, especially when that mess was made by a bunch of careless and arrogant dickheads. But when that bunch of careless and arrogant dickheads is a corporation, they don't call it a mess, they call it an externality. Fancy, right? It's like calling dead war babies collateral damage. Now, I had the bright idea that somebody should try and figure out a way to keep an archive of our business as usual externalities. Because whether it's politics or business, there's always someone downstream paying for the actions of the asshole upstream. And even if justice is rarely attained in these situations, I think we should at least have a record of the injustice. Maybe even a regular report. I know, we could call it the news. Now, I hope you'll forgive all the sarcasm, but local newsrooms pee themselves a little every time there's an innocent bystander injured in a drive-by shooting. But when it comes to the cancer alleys surrounding chemical plants who skirt industry regulations, all of a sudden, they've got a shy bladder. And it's not that they don't ever cover externalities, it's just that when they do, the style is less investigative journalism than it is junior high gossip. Take climate change, for example, the mother of all externalities. Instead of treating the overwhelming scientific consensus as fact, the last couple decades of reporting have sounded more like this. And then NASA climatologist James Hansen was all like, ExxonMobil, you guys are totally responsible for our planet's bad hair day, and you know it. And ExxonMobil was like, nuh-uh. And James Hansen was like, uh-huh. And ExxonMobil was like, whatevs. And those pants make you look like a total cow. Externalities should be anchors around the necks of the powerful, yet the only anchors the powerful ever see are the sycophants on the nightly news who report on externalities like a stranger tasked with writing an obituary for an asshole. You can give an accurate picture, but not too accurate. Again, it's not that they don't cover externalities, it's the kid gloves they handle them with. Instead of bullshit slogans like CNN, the most trusted name in news, or Fox News, we report, you decide, it should be maybe sorta kinda news, because it's never the right time for pointing fingers. It's almost as if their real jobs are to make sure you're not too mad about how fucked up shit is. It's like if you were murdered in your sleep and they're the person in heaven who has to tell you who did it. Hey asshole, we don't need a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down, we need to know how in the fuck we got sick. And print media isn't much better. Just open your local newspaper and go to the labor section and read the first headline you see. Oh wait, what's that you say? There is no labor section? Well, I wonder how in the fuck that happened. Think about that shit. Nearly 30% of our lives are spent working, and yet barely 2% of the news is devoted to labor-related issues. It's like watching a porno where 98% of the film is the pizza delivery guy actually driving to the house. And it's not just about the relevance, it's about results. The more courageous reporters you have on the externality beat, chances are the less externalities you're likely to see. And yet newsrooms keep cutting this kind of reporting because they say it's too expensive. But too expensive for who? The news is supposed to be regulators for the people. And why? Because the less watchdogs we have out there monitoring those trying to fuck us over or rip us off, the more expensive it is for us. And I guess when you look at it that way, the consequences of not assigning more reporters to the externality beat is an externality in itself. But that would only make sense if mainstream news was controlled by a six-finger handful of multinational corporations, and the collective corporate culture that allows for such externalities could only be reined in by a well-informed, critically engaged populace equipped to put strategic pressure on and hold institutions accountable. Which we're not, because the news only seems to give us the kind of information that keeps us in a state of, hey, wait a minute! If you dig what I'm doing and you would like to help me keep on doing it, you got two options. You can share this video with others and or click below the video to show me some love. Either one is greatly appreciated.